Greed, Greedy, and Greedier, Part 2, I want to emphasize that what is most disturbing and most provocative about these bonuses the bankers are giving themselves is that the average guy is really struggling right now. There are soaring foreclosure rates across the United States. Thousands of people a day are seeing their houses foreclosed. People are homeless. Many people are living in tents. People are without work, without homes, and as we know from the news, they're without health insurance. So they're vulnerable financially in a way that many people have never been in their lives. 15 million people are out of work right now, and that is likely. It will increase. It's just a question of how much. So let's take another look at those bankers. Goldman Sachs plans to give out over $16 billion in bonuses this year. That's an average of $700,000 per worker. Just think what $700,000, a bonus, could mean to one of those people living in a tent. The Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase may give out $30 billion each in bonuses this year. These are the same firms that received over a $1 trillion bailout, a bailout from the U.S. Treasury to keep them from going bankrupt. And why were they about to go bankrupt? From their own greedy behavior, largely from selfish, careless, and reckless behavior. The bailouts were necessary. We were in a crisis. We had to unfreeze credit. And the markets certainly did need loan money made available to keep the financial system moving. But these investment banks are not investing in the real economy, and nothing that would, say, create jobs or increase manufacturing or expand the economy. They're still doing the same tricks they were doing before. Basically, it's about mergers. It's about buying and selling companies and merging companies, working up formulas for derivatives and other esoteric investment formulas, but they're not contributing to anything that would improve the lives of the average American. And the average American knows that they're receiving these huge bonuses. So it's not going to continue. It won't continue. I don't think the government can allow it to continue. And they will have to stop and think. In this climate, this political climate, they are testing a very, very dangerous situation for what people will tolerate in the way of greed. Goldman Sachs is investing $200 million in their education foundation, which is interesting because $200 million is a very small amount of money compared to what Goldman Sachs could invest. But it's enough so that their spokespeople or public relations people can go out and say, well, look, we're doing something good for the public. It reminds me of John D. Rockefeller. At one point, he was probably a billionaire in 1905, and there was all kinds of antitrust legislation that he was under siege. But he knew he was unpopular. The public didn't like him. So he hired a public relations man named Pinky Lee, and I better check my evidence, but there is some memory, I think, that Pinky Lee ended up working for the Third Reich in Germany. I'm sure he, was working where he could and for whatever money was available. Don't want to bash him. But Pinky Lee said to John D. Rockefeller, look, you need to improve your image with the public. So take this big bag of dimes wherever you go and just hand them out to kids, whoever wants one, if you're ever in public. And it did work amazingly well, and John D. Rockefeller became quite a popular guy.